Blood sprayed across the twinkling Christmas lights as the front door exploded inward. Masked thugs stormed our home, guns blazing, kicking presents everywhere. My daughter Ivy vanished under the tree skirt, her tiny hand clutching a gift box to stay silent. I was ex-Delta Force, ready. But upstairs, Harper, my wife, screamed, not in fear, in recognition. Hit like, subscribe for more betrayal stories, and comment your city or country. I'm Blake Thompson, and that Christmas Eve in our cozy Colorado cabin was meant to be magic. Snow fell soft outside. Fire crackled in the hearth. I'd just retired from Delta Force after 2 decades of shadows and silence. No glory, just scars and a promise to be home for good. Harper and I built this life. Ivy, our 8-year-old spark, made it all worth it. Or so I believed. Earlier that day, everything felt right. I wrestled the tree into the stand, Ivy handing me ornaments with sticky fingers from cookie dough. Harper hummed in the kitchen, but her laugh rang hollow. She'd been distant for months. Just tired, Blake, she'd snap when I asked. Her phone lit up constantly. Texts she deleted fast. I trusted her. We were high school sweethearts, married young. I deployed. She raised Ivy alone. Bonds like that don't break, right? Dinner wrapped with Ivy's excited chatter about Santa. Daddy, will he bring the pony? Her eyes shone. Harper pecked my cheek. Cold, quick. Headache coming on. You do bedtime. I nodded, carried Ivy upstairs. Tucked her in with whispers of reindeer. Downstairs, I sipped coffee by the tree, replaying old missions to shake the unease. Harper's footsteps padded above, then silence. Then hell broke loose. Glass shattered. Boots thundered. Door frames splintered like bone. 3 men in black masks. Tactical vests loaded. AR-15s. Handguns. Not cops. On the floor. Safe. Money. Now. The leader snarled, voice gravelly with an accent I pegged as local. They swept the room brutal. Tree wobbled. Lights flickered. Ivy's door creaked upstairs. No. She'd snuck down. Crawled under the tree amid wrapped boxes. Smart kid. I drilled her on hide-and-seek ops since she could walk. My pulse stayed even. Delta breathing. In 4, hold 4, out 4. Assess. Leader barking orders. Thug 1 ransacking kitchen. Thug 2 eyeing stairs. No night vision, sloppy flanks. Amateurs hired for muscle. I eased behind the recliner, hands sliding to the floorboard. Concealed there, my K-bar knife, always ready. Retirement didn't mean soft. Upstairs crash. Harper's voice. Wait. He's not here. Check the garage. Lies. Or play. Footsteps pounded down. Leader grinned under mask. Your wife's cooperating nice. Where's the Delta stash, soldier? My blood iced. How'd they know my past? Harper sold me out. Weed argued finances. Retirement pay thin. Her wanting more. You're never here, she'd cry. Was this her escape? Thug 2 yanked tree skirt. Presents tumbled. Ivy's blue sneaker peeked. Barely. She bit her lip bloody, silent. Pride surged. Terror too. I gripped knife tighter. Phone vibrated. Harper's text from hours ago, unread. Tonight changes everything. Forgive me. What? Gang tore drawers, flipped couch. Boss said wife's intel gold. Bet's got cash hidden. Leader spat. Boss. Harper's lover? Flashes hit. Her late, girls' nights. Cologne whiff on her coat. Bank statements dipping odd. Betrayal clawed deep. Not just invasion, but home wrecked from inside. I scanned exits. Back door snow-blocked. Windows latched. Plan. Neutralize kitchen thug silent. Drag leader to choke hold. Signal Ivy to bolt basement. But voices upstairs rose. Man laughing low. Harper pleading. Please, not the kid. Recognition chilled. That laugh. Met him at our barbecue last summer? Vague face. Old army buddy Harper introduced. Tree lights blinked. Thug 2 stepped close to Ivy's spot. Hear that? Someone's here. Gun raised. No choice. I uncoiled. My knife sliced clean through the thug's throat before he could scream. blood hot on my hand as he crumpled silent behind the recliner. Ivy's eyes met mine from under the tree, wide, trusting. I signaled stay put, heart pounding. Upstairs, Harper's voice broke again, closer now. The leader spun, sensing something. I melted into shadows, Delta instincts alive. But as chaos swirled, my mind dragged me back months, to the cracks that led here. That fall before Christmas, life unraveled slow. I'd come home from my last deployment, expecting hugs and normalcy. Instead, Harper pulled away. "You're a ghost, Blake," she'd whisper nights when Ivy slept. Our cabin felt empty despite the walls. Finances bit hard. Delta pension barely covered mortgage, her boutique job sporadic. Arguments simmered over bills stacked on the counter. One evening, Ivy at soccer practice, Harper paced the kitchen. "We need more, Blake. Not just scraping by." Her eyes darted to her phone. I reached for her hand. "We'll figure it. Together." She yanked back. "You figure it. You've been gone years." Truth stung. I missed birthdays, school plays, chasing ghosts overseas. Guilt gnawed. To fix it, I took security consulting gigs, nights away training rookies. Texts piled up then. Harper's screen glowed late. "Who's Mason?" I asked casual one night, spotting the name. She flushed. "Gym buddy." "Nothing." "Mason." Tall guy from her stories, motivational coach. I nodded, but doubt seeded. Our intimacy faded. She'd roll away in bed, back turned. Tired, always tired. Ivy noticed, drawing pictures of happy family hugs that hung crooked on fridge. Thanksgiving tested us. Family over. My brother Colin grilled turkey, his wife Clara chased kids. Harper drank too much wine, laughed loud at Colin's jokes. Later, washing dishes, she snapped at me. "See? Others are present." Colin pulled me aside. "She's lonely, man. Step up." I promised I would. Bought her necklace next day, silver, simple. She wore it once, then tucked away. Winter deepened strain. December hit, snow burying the drive. Ivy begged for treat early. We chopped one down, sap sticky on gloves. Harper smiled thin, phone buzzing mid-swing. "Work?" she muttered, stepping away. That night, fighting sleep, I checked our joint account online. Odd withdrawal, $500 to consulting fee. Confronted her morning. "Harper, what's this?" She shrugged. "Helped a friend. Mason startup." Lies layered thick. Ivy's school concert came. Front row, proud dad. Harper arrived late. Perfume sharp, not her usual. Sat rigid, clapping mechanical. After, in car, she snapped at Ivy's chatter. Quiet. Headache. Home. Ivy cried in her room. I held her. Mommy sat. Kids saw through. That planted fear. Our girl fracturing between us. Secret hunts started subtle. While Harper showered, I scrolled her phone. Passcode our anniversary, easy. Text to Mason. Can't wait. He suspects nothing. Heart dropped. Photos. Gym selfies, arms linked. Not cheating physical yet. Emotional gut punch. Love you always, she texted him. Me? Got chores lists. I confronted soft over cocoa one night. Harper, talk to me. Tears welled. You're paranoid. Military habits. Hugged her, but trust eroded. She promised delete contact. Days later, phone cleared, too clean. Financial stress peaked. Foreclosure notice slipped under door. Desperate, I took riskier job, private security for shady client. Paid well, but shadows followed. Christmas shopping solo, mall crowded. Bought Ivy dollhouse, Harper earrings. Phone rang, unknown. Hung up. Paranoia? Back home, Harper humming again, baking pies. False peace. But her necklace gone, pawned? Check later confirmed, another withdrawal. Eve dawned perfect. Shovel drive, Ivy sledding. Harper kissed cheek, warm? Illusion. Dinner laughs forced. Bedtime stories with Ivy, her whispers. Daddy, mommy fights you. Fix. Promise hard. Alone downstairs, text buzzed. Hers, unread. Forgive soon. Dread built. Invasion snapped present. Leader downstairs now, thug 2 down. Kitchen guy searched fridge oblivious. I dragged body to pantry, silent. Harper descended stairs, pushed by unseen hand. Eyes locked mine, pleading. Guilty. Blake. She breathed. Leader shoved her forward. Tell him, sweetheart. Pocket burned. Her phone, snatched earlier from hall table. Screen lit. Mason's call log, endless. Message peaked. Tonight. Get cash. Kids safe. World tilted. Betrayal full bloom. Not just affair. Setup. Leader ripped her necklace. Fake pawn story? Your man's loaded. Spill. Harper trembled. No safe. Lies. Ivy whimpered soft. My move crystallized. But phone's next notification glowed. Photo attachment. Opened quick. Me, sleeping, time-stamped weeks ago. Stalker shot. Who sent? Mason? Harper? Knife ready. I stepped from dark. I lunged from the shadows like a ghost in the night, my knife finding the leader's ribs with surgical precision. He gurgled once, eyes bulging behind the mask, then slumped heavy against the wall without a sound. Harper froze mid-step on the stairs, her face draining white as snow outside. Ivy's small gasp cut through from under the tree, pure terror mixed with awe. The last thug barreled in from the kitchen, shotgun swinging wild. I sidestepped, drove my elbow into his windpipe, and watched him choke out cold on the rug. Silence crashed down, broken only by the tree's dying lights and Harper's ragged breaths. 3 down, but the real fight was just starting inside my home, inside my heart. Harper slid down the wall, knees buckling, staring at the bodies like they were her nightmares made real. Blake! Oh God, what did you do? Her voice cracked. No scream, just hollow shock. I yanked cords from the blinds, zip-tied their wrists and ankles tight, delta knots that wouldn't slip. Dragged them one by one to the basement stairs, heavy thuds echoing. Ivy crawled out slow, presents tumbling around her, straight into my arms. Her little body shook against my chest. Daddy, Mommy okay? I kissed her hair, whispered, stay in your room, lock the door. Daddy's got this. She nodded brave, scampered up, click of the lock my lifeline. Back in the living room, wreckage everywhere. Ornaments smashed, blood pooling under the star topper. I turned to Harper, grabbed her shoulders, not rough, but unyielding. Who's Mason? How'd they know I'm Delta Force? Start talking. Now. She collapsed onto the couch edge, burying her face in trembling hands. No fight. No lies at first, just sobs that ripped ears open. I paced, breath steady from training, but inside, rage and grief warred like old enemies. Months peeled back in her broken words. It started innocent, she swore, last spring, after my final deployment. You came home a stranger, Blake. Always checking doors, staring off. I was drowning here with Ivy. Loneliness festered while I chased shadows overseas. Mason slithered in as her life coach. Met at the gym she joined to cope. Coffee turned to late drives. Talks about dreams I couldn't give. He listened, she whispered. Made me feel seen. Her phone sat heavy in my pocket, the one I'd snatched from the hall table during the chaos. Unlock it. Her fingers fumbled the code, our anniversary date that now tasted bitter. Texts flooded the screen like poison. Can't stop thinking of you. He's clueless. Hard eyes, kiss emojis. Hotel confirmations matching her girls' weekends. Bank withdrawals synced perfect. Cash for his debts. My stomach turned. You slept with him. Fed him my routines. This invasion? Your idea? She nodded, tears carving tracks through smeared makeup. Mason's in deep with bad people. Needed 50 grand quick. Said you had mission cash stashed, black ops pay. Promised it'd be a bluff, just scare you into handing it over. No one hurt. Ivy's door creaked upstairs. She'd crept down halfway, pajamas rumpled, eyes huge on us. Mommy, why bad men? Harper reached out desperate. Ivy recoiled to the banister, clutching a stuffed reindeer. The fracture hit visible. Our girl splitting between parents who failed her. I dialed Colin fast, my brother the ex-cop living 10 minutes away. Home invasion. 3 down, non-lethal. Harper involved. Get here. He roared up in under 5, flashlights sweeping the scene grim. Jesus, Blake, clean work. Cops incoming. Your service record buys time. Clara, his wife, bundled Ivy next door for safety. Hot cocoa and cartoons. We mopped blood rough, hid weapons smart. Sirens wailed closer. Detective Fiona Reyes led the swarm, mid-40s, no nonsense, ponytail tight. She separated us quick. Me in kitchen, Harper in dining. Ivy with child services temp. Fiona grilled gentle but sharp. Wife story, coerced lover, gang muscle. Phone evidence. Showed her everything. Her nod said she believed half. Hours dragged. Statements. Forensics dusting for prints. Harper emerged hollow-eyed. Mason's the leader's cousin. They're holding him too. But digging deeper cracked more. In her email app, divorce filings dated 2 weeks back. Lawyer drafts citing irreconcilable emotional neglect. Custody battle planned. Ivy to her. You were going to take her? Run with him. My voice low, lethal calm. Harper crumbled. Wanted out clean. New life. Ivy deserves better than fighting parents. Ivy, back now under Clara's arm, overheard from the hall. No, Mommy. Stay with Daddy. Sobs echoed. Fiona pulled me aside in the garage, snow melting off her boots. Her tail holds water so far, but holes. Gangs linked to bigger fish. Mason's boss runs fentanyl out of Denver. She knew. Harper hovered door, eavesdropping. Confronted her right there. Love notes to him. Our future without Blake. You plotted this family end. She whispered raw. It grew from affair to desperation. Thought you'd never find out. Night deepened. Ivy curled asleep on the couch under a blanket. Colin posted watch. Harper knelt close, voice thread. For Ivy's sake, can we fix? One chance. I stared at the ruined tree, lights fading. Trust died tonight. Not sure it revives. She rose slow, Fiona escorting her to station for protection or questioning. Alone with Colin, pieced the mess. Cheating sparked debt, invasion her desperate play. But Fiona's warning lingered. Watch your 6. This web's wider. My phone lit up, burner number. Text, nice moves, operator. Ivy school route. We know. Heart iced. Not random threat. Harper's final glance from the cruiser, flicker of something unspoken. Then it hit. Her whispered, deeper plot, earlier. What wasn't she essay? Courtroom air hung thick with stale coffee and tension as Judge Nathaniel Grant banged his gavel. Eyes hard on Harper across the room. 2 weeks post-invasion, custody hearing underway. Ivy between us like a fragile thread. My lawyer, Quentin Hale, slid papers forward. Your Honor, wife's affair funded a home invasion targeting my client. Harper's attorney countered weak, but her face, pale, broken, betrayed cracks. Then Quentin dropped the bomb. Audio from her phone, her voice plotting with Mason. Betrayal doesn't end at the bedroom. The gallery gasped. Ivy watched via video link, her world hanging. Days blurred after that text threat. Colin moved us to his ranch. Barbed wire, cameras. Ivy clung tight, nightmares of masks waking her screaming. Daddy, bad men come back? I'd rock her gentle, Delta calm masking fury. Fiona Reyes updated daily. Mason sang like a bird, named his boss. Victor Kane, Denver kingpin moving fentanyl through legit fronts. Harper? Released on bail, but monitored. She's scared, Fiona said. Might flip. Quentin Hale came recommended. Ex-Marine Jag, shark in suits. Met in his office, walls lined case wins. Blake, we fight for Ivy full custody. Her cheating? Invasion ties? Slam dunk. Signed retainers, strategy locked. Expose manipulation, protect legacy. Harper's lawyer, Lila Voss, slick, boutique firm, pushed reconciliation. Family first, her emails oozed. Bull. First hearing loomed, emergency custody. Prep nights, Quentin grilled me. Deployments, Ivy's routines, Harper's slips. Flashbacks hit hard. Early marriage bliss, Harper glowing pregnant. Post-Ivy birth, my first tour. Letters home, miss you fierce. Raise her strong. Years piled, absences grew. She'd adapted alone. Resentment simmered silent. Court day dawned gray. Small-town courthouse packed. Locals whispering from news leaks. Ivy with Clara, screen setup. Judge Nathaniel Grant, silver hair, no nonsense, presided. Opening, Quentin painted me steady dad, Delta honor. Lila spun Harper victim. Loneliness drove mistakes. Seeks counseling. Bull. Witnesses rolled. Colin testified first. Saw bruises post-invasion, not from Blake. Her choices. Fiona next. Phone logs confirm plot. Gang targeted family assets. Harper took stand, voice quaver. I strayed, yes. But for us, debt's crushing. Quentin cross. Debts from hotel trysts? Or Kane's threats? She faltered. Mason pulled me in, deeper than I knew. Emotional peak. Ivy's video. 8 years old, pigtails neat. I want daddy. Mommy scared me with bad friends. Court silent. Judge leaned forward. Ms. Thompson, explain child exposure. Harper teared up. Never meant desperation. But Quentin played clip. Her voice to Mason. Ivy's leverage if he fights. Gasps rippled. Break called. Hallway. Harper cornered me soft. Blake, this kills me. For Ivy. Voice crack genuine? Or play? Quentin pulled back. Stay cold. Resumed. He hammered financials. Her withdrawals to Mason. Pawned gifts. Judge scowled. Manipulation evident. Temporary custody to father pending investigation. Ruling landed. Ivy mine. Supervised visits Harper. Gavel echo freed air. Outside, snow swirled. Lila Voss rushed Harper away. Whispers urgent. Quentin clapped shoulder. Step 1. Kane's next. Drove home. Ranch lights welcoming. Ivy ran out. Hugged legs. My home. Heart swelled, but hollow. Betrayal scar throbbed. Evenings settled routine. Ivy's homework. Bedtime tales sans monsters. Calls from Fiona. Kane circling. Wiretaps caught his rage. Mason flipped full. Harper texts. Miss you both. Changing. Blocked. But Quentin warned. Divorce filings incoming. Fight dirty. Week 2. Deeper hearing. Full custody push. Court packed fuller. Reporters now. Judge Grant opened stern. New evidence? Quentin nodded. Projected bank trails. Harper's deposits from unknown. Time-stamped pre-invasion. Not just affair. Payments to gang scout. Harper bolted up. Lies. But records cold hard. Family history unearthed. My mom testified via video. Harper's isolation, early signs. She changed poster tours. Distant. Colin's wife Clara. Ivy thrives with Blake. Structured, safe. Emotional testimony peaked with me on stand. Served country, now family. Betrayal tested, but Ivy's future unbreakable. Harper's turn gutted. Loved Blake once. Absences broke us. Mason. Escape. Quentin pierced. Escape funded by selling your home? Daughter's life? She whispered. Kane pressured. Through Mason. Wanted Blake's contacts. Old Delta networks. Plot deepened. Not cash. Intel on security gigs. Judge recessed. Tension thick. Verdict loomed. Outside, Quentin confided. We win Ivy. But Harper's tying to Kane. Leverage. Hope flickered. Justice quiet. Dignity intact. Final session. Judge Grant cleared throat. Custody to Mr. Thompson permanent. Ms. Thompson supervised. Probation. Cheers inner. But twist. One item. Anonymous tips surfaced. Envelope opened. Photo inside. Harper meeting Kane weeks prior. Ivy's school and background. Implicating deeper ties. Harper blanched. Not me. Who sent? Close. I scanned room. Lila Voss pale? Or Colin loyal? Threat text echoed. Family web tightening. The dust of the courtroom was barely settled when the real work began. Ivy was finally safe with me. but the ghosts that haunted our home weren't finished. Harper's betrayal cut deep, but the shadows extending from Mason and his boss, Victor Kane, were far darker, webs I intended to unravel quietly with precision, patience, and a soldier's cunning. Every morning at the ranch started with cold coffee and colder resolve. Ivy was slow to wake, restless from nightmares. I held her tight, promising battles fought for her future. My Delta training taught control, endurance, intelligence, none of which involved guns blazing in recklessness. This was war of silence and strategy. Quentin Hale, my lawyer, quickly became my closest ally, a battlefield general in the courtroom skirmishes that followed. We knew the obvious fight, custody and betrayal, was only the first layer. Harper's ties to Kane's cartel ran deep through threats and coercion, a pressing danger I had to dismantle before they crushed what was left of our family. We started with law enforcement. Fiona Reyes was relentless. Her team tapped phones, tracked transactions, pored over intercepted communications. Mason's pleas for leniency were notes in chaos. We were targeting the bigger fish. Every late-night call I took from Fiona reminded me of the cost, Ivy's safety, my own constant watchfulness. At the ranch, life had to maintain a facade of normalcy for Ivy. Homework, bedtime stories, Saturday trips to the park. But beneath it, I was orchestrating a silent siege. Nights were long, spent scanning files Harper left exposed, cross-referencing financial schemes, pinpointing Kane's operations thinly hidden behind Denver's veneer of legitimacy. Each new lead was a domino, and I was shaking the table. In one quiet moment, Quentin sat across from me in the dim light, papers and laptops scattered like battle maps. We pressed civil suits for extortion, intimidation, and harassment, he said. Legal walls can trap Kane's empire if built right. Plans formed to apply pressure from every angle. Crime charges, business audits, custody enforcement. Harper needed to face consequences, yes. But I was after the network that manipulated her, threatened Ivy, invaded my home. Despite the law's patience, the danger flickered sharp and close. One evening, Fiona called in panic. Ivy's school bus was followed by an unmarked car for 2 blocks. I bolted out the door, my mind clocking every escape route, every threat countermeasure I'd learned from training past. I met Ivy, cool and unafraid. But under calm was the knowledge that Kane was watching, that Harper's betrayal opened doors to enemies no ordinary family could face. That week, I confronted the hardest truth. Harper, not with threats or anger, but strategic calls through Quentin. She could flip or fold, Quentin warned. Reluctantly, Harper agreed to talk under supervision, bargaining made to protect Ivy from further harm. An emotional meeting in a sterile room, Ivy caught in the middle, just watching. Harper's eyes pleaded, regret heavy but responsibility lighter than I wanted. It wasn't hate fueling me. It was justice for Ivy's future. Our quiet revenge was a tightrope walk. Protect the innocent, expose the guilty, avoid bloodshed that would ruin what remained. Friends from my military days offered help. Intelligence, secure comms, eyes on the streets. Each piece of information went to Fiona, each movement monitored. Kane's cartel was sprawling and dangerous, but no empire is invincible if you pick its cracks carefully. Months passed, and the first domino fell. Undercover agents arrested one of Kane's lieutenants moving fentanyl shipments through a legitimate trucking company. Mason, no longer coddled, sang all. Details emerged of threats, bribes, and attempts to buy silence, even to intimidate me directly. Harper's betrayal had been a thread pulled that threatened to unravel everything. Ivy blossomed in the shelter of safety, her laughter returning, wide-eyed curiosity reclaiming innocence. At night, I'd watch her sleep and remind myself the battle was for her peace, for the promise I'd made when I held her beneath that shattered Christmas tree. Revenge here wasn't about violence, but endurance, legacy, emotional justice. Kane and his network wouldn't break her. Not while I'd fight quietly, but relentlessly. The court battles dragged on. Harper's lawyer desperate to reduce her involvement, spinning stories of coercion and mental breakdown. They painted her as victim, not conspirator. But I held strong with Quentin, presenting evidence unassailable, texts, bank accounts, witness testimonies. Judge Grant impressed with our patience and dignity. Ivy's voice echoed in transcripts, a reminder that justice wasn't just legal but human. Then the second twist emerged. An anonymous tip came through Fiona's team alleging Kane had a mole close to me. Someone feeding him movements, court schedules, even Ivy's routines. Paranoia crept in. Friends, family, even Colin's circle came under scrutiny. Betrayal had layers I hadn't seen before. The web I trusted was fraying, and the emotional cost chipped at my focus. Still, quiet vengeance meant no rash moves. I channeled my frustration into preparation. Security upgrades at the ranch, installing cameras, black vans with tinted windows circling at random. My Delta fire didn't just burn outward. It fortified inward walls, holding family safe while dismantling darkness quietly. One late night, Ivy woke screaming from a nightmare. Masked men, broken doors. I sat beside her in the dim glow, holding her tight. "Daddy, will they come again?" Her question shattered the silence. I kissed her forehead, voice steady despite the storm inside. "No, Ivy. I promise." My promise was a soldier's vow, made not in anger but in steadfast love. The plan edged closer to fruition. Kane's network was exposed piece by piece. Mason's betrayal purchased my leverage. Harper's cooperation, fragile but honest, helped move legal pieces. Kane's empire wasn't collapsing with gunfire, but with dignity and layered pressure, quiet revenge in motion. Yet, the haunting threat lingered, a call in the dark, a shadow in the rear view. Kane wasn't beaten yet. Ivy's safety was the key battlefront. Every night, every whisper of silence became a promise to protect, to heal, to reclaim the legacy stolen. The weight of months spent clawing my life back was crushing when the truth I dreaded landed like a hammer. Harper wasn't just a willing betrayer. She was trapped, pulled into the darkness by threats invisible to everyone but me. The revelation came the night Fiona called me out of the blue, voice tight with urgency. "Blake, we got a new lead from an informant inside Kane's circle. You need to hear this in person." I drove fast to the precinct, mind racing. In the interrogation room sat a man, eyes darting, face marred by the street, but coated in raw fear. He spilled what I didn't want to hear. Kane coerced Harper, his threats lurking behind every text, every meeting with Mason, even the invasion itself, a brutal message I'd mistakenly read as purely betrayal. It hit me like a punch to the gut. Harper, cornered by monsters masquerading as enemies, kept her secrets not for pleasure, but survival. The woman who betrayed me was as much a victim as Ivy, scared into silence. But the damage was done. Trust shattered beyond repair, but now lines blurred dangerously between hate and sympathy. I spent that night pacing the ranch office, Ivy asleep upstairs, unaware that both her parents were torn by secrets deeper than any gunfight. Flashbacks blazed. Harper's quiet tears in the kitchen, the stiff nods before Mason's visits, the cryptic texts I'd ignored or destroyed. My soldier's mind wrestled honor and betrayal, love and rage. How do you forgive when threatened with death? How do you fight back when love turns hostage? Then came the calls, subtle, coded warnings. Kane's influence spread, snakes in the grass everywhere. Protecting Ivy meant stepping carefully. Colleagues from my Delta days supplied intelligence without question, blending black ops expertise with legal maneuvers. Every move monitored, every ally chosen carefully. Harper, now cooperating but guarded, was escorted under supervision to meetings where she disclosed the cartel's operations, the smuggling routes, front companies, even names in the police corrupted by money and fear. Her position was fragile, yet crucial. She wrestled her demons, her guilt thick in every meeting. Ivy watched from afar, confused by the sudden distance between mother and father replaced by whispered talks and shadowed tears. My brother Colin stood by firm but skeptical, urging tough decisions. She's part of this, Blake. Pain or not, you can't afford weakness. Yet my heart hesitated. The quiet revenge I sought turned inward, not just dismantling an empire, but rebuilding the shards of a broken family, one painful brick at a time. Then the new ally stepped forward, a woman named Fiona's informant identified only as Ophelia. Once trapped in Kane's world, Ophelia turned on them after seeing her own children threatened. She offered inside information, detailed schedules, bank accounts, names peeled back like layers of a rotten onion. Her story echoed Harper's, a desperate bid to save family, to survive by buying time. With Ophelia's help, we struck hard. Undercover raids hit shipping warehouses. Kane's chief lieutenants arrested in the dead of night. Harper's testimony turned from fragile to fierce, her cooperation a blade cutting into the cartel's veins. Yet the cost to our family was steep. Ivy's trust wavered, caught in the crossfire of silent war, caught between mother's pain and father's resolve. Every night was a standstill. Ivy asked why mommy couldn't come home. I sat her down, voice even but soft. Sometimes people make bad choices when scared, kiddo. But daddy's fighting to keep you safe. Her tears, small and real, cut more than any bullet. Kane retaliated with chilling subtlety. A window smashed, tires slashed, an anonymous letter at the ranch, stop or lose everything. My response was quiet but firm. Upgrade the fences, hire discreet security, rally trusted friends and former team members. This battle wasn't explosive. It was cerebral. War beneath the surface, where dignity and endurance mattered most. And through it all, the question haunted me. Could the woman who sold us out also be the key to breaking Kane forever? That line between enemy and ally blurred, and as the cartel crumbled piece by piece, so too did my certainty about what justice meant. Not just revenge, but salvation. Ivy's small hand slipped into mine as we walked the snowy path to the ranch's old barn, her breath puffing clouds in the crisp air. Months of raids and arrests had worn us thin, but this day felt heavier. Harper was coming for her first supervised visit since the courtroom bombshell. My chest tightened with a mix of hope and dread. Forgiveness wasn't a switch, but for Ivy, I'd try. Inside the barn, hay scented and warm from a space heater, Harper waited on a bale, eyes red-rimmed, looking smaller than the woman who'd shattered our world. The door creaked shut behind us. Ivy hesitated, then ran to her mom, arms wrapping tight. "Mommy!" Harper held her fierce, tears spilling silent onto Ivy's hair. I stood back, arms crossed, watching the reunion I'd orchestrated through Quentin. No hugs for me, just nods. "Blake," she whispered, voice raw. "Thank you." We sat on stools, Ivy between, chattering about school art and ranch ponies. But under the chatter, truths simmered, demanding air. Harper broke first, after Ivy ran to pet the barn cat. "I never wanted this." The affair. Kane's grip, it spiraled. Her hands twisted a napkin shred. Flashbacks hit me unbidden. Our early days, pre-Ivy. Picnics by the river, her laugh lighting fireflies. My first deployment, her letters thick with love, come home whole. But years stacked absences, video calls from dust bowls, her face thinning, eyes hollowing. She'd shouldered solo parenting, holidays alone, resentment brewing quiet. I tried protecting Ivy, Harper continued, voice cracking. When Mason brought Kane in, threats started small. Texts, calls. Cooperate or lose her. The invasion? Kane's test. I fed scraps hoping it'd end. Her eyes met mine, pleading. "Called you that night," warning hidden. "Pawn necklace for cash to buy time." Pieces clicked. Her headaches, distant stares. Not coldness, cage. Pain clawed deep. You chose him over us. Words bitter. She shook head. Chose survival. Kane knew my loneliness, dangled escape. But Ivy, always her. Ivy returned, climbed lap, oblivious. Mommy, stay. Harper's sob choked. Working on it, baby. I wrestled inside. Delta steel versus human heart. Hate faded to empathy's edge. She'd fought shadows alone, flawed like me. Afternoons like this built slow. Visits weekly, supervised by Clara at first. Emotional layers peeled. Harper's internal war. Flashback, one she'd shared later. Post my last mission, Mason at coffee shop. He listened, she'd admit. But Kane loomed after, voice on phone. Help or watch your house burn. She'd hidden bruises from falls, deleted calls frantic. Protected Ivy by teaching code words, emergency packs. Mom instincts twisted by terror. My struggle mirrored. Nights alone, ranch quiet save wind. I'd pace kitchen, whiskey untouched. Forgiveness? Not absolution, but release, for Ivy. Quiet strength grew. Therapy sessions Quentin pushed, Delta buddies sharing war scars. Betrayal's mission, one said. Extract intel, move on. Built walls higher, but doors cracked for healing. Family confrontations peaked one stormy evening. Colin joined dinner, steaks sizzling, Ivy drawing families whole. Talk turned raw over pie. Harper's changing, I said. Colin grunted. Too late. But Clara softer. Pains shared. Harper arrived mid-meal, rain-soaked. Group circle formed, truths spilling. I broke vows, she owned. Loneliness won. I countered. Deployments broke me too. Absent dad. Ivy listened wide-eyed. No more sad. We promised work. Flashbacks deepened reckoning. Harper's private hell. Kane's goon at Ivy's school gate. Notes in backpack. Mommy's secret or else. She'd stalled invasion, screaming upstairs to warn me time. Post-chaos, jail calls to me. Ignored then, regretted now. Fought for you both, she'd plead. Empathy swelled. Monster not her, circumstance. Strength solidified. I coached Ivy soccer, her cheers mending cracks. Harper attended games distant, cheering soft. Joint counseling started. Neutral ground, therapist probing wounds. What legacy for Ivy? She'd ask. Dignity, we'd echo. No revenge rants. Emotional justice through accountability. Past mistakes confronted head-on. My flaws aired. Emotional distance post-retirement. Garage workouts over family talks. Ghost husband, Harper named it. Hers, secrecy breeding mistrust. Ivy's drawings evolved. Stick figures hugging, no tears. Healing flickered, but shadows lingered. Ophelia's tips fueled arrests. Kane's empire crumbling. Harper's full testimony loomed. Risky, brave. Do it for her. I urged one visit. She nodded steel. Bonds reformed fragile. Coffee chats post-visit. Shared Ivy stories. Not love revived, partnership forged. Then the bomb dropped. Late night, Quentin called frantic. Wiretap caught Colin, talking to Kane's runner. Coordinates your ranch. Heart stopped. Brother? Loyal Colin, ex-cop ally. Logs showed payments, tips on my moves. Betrayal fresh, closer than blood imagined. Why? Rage boiled. Ivy slept upstairs, unaware her uncle sold us out. Confrontation dawned, family shattered again. Winter tightened its grip on the ranch, frost thick on the cottonwoods and ice tracing delicate patterns on the windows. Inside, the warmth from the fire flickered shadows over stacks of files, flickering screens, and cold coffee mugs cluttering the workspace I had carved out in the old barn. This wasn't a house anymore. It was a command center, my last stand against silence and shadows. Ivy slept upstairs, unaware of the storm gathering in the veins of my life. Every detail mattered now. Every decision weighed heavily on her safety and our future. This was the calm before the final battle. Months had passed since the courtroom ruled custody in my favor, and since the cartel's empire began to crumble piece by piece. Thanks to Harper's fragile cooperation and Ophelia's insider revelations. But Kane wasn't just a man. He was a network, a venom spreading through corrupt cops, business fronts, and dark alleys. That network was now focused on breaking me, the man determined to protect his daughter and bring justice quietly but decisively. Security became an obsession. Cameras installed around the ranch perimeter, infrared sensors, and motion detectors linked to encrypted phones. I trained Ivy in safety protocols disguised as games, taught her escape routes, safe words, and what to do if strangers came knocking. Fear twisted with resolve every time her small hand grasped mine, a reminder the stakes were real and immediate. My team expanded. Former Delta brothers, Clara volunteering to help with Ivy, Colin struggling with his mistakes, all woven into a tight web of trust and vigilance. Quentin moved legal mountains, filing injunctions against anyone linked to Kane's circle trying to approach us. Fiona's task force mapped out cartel finances, crushing shipments, freezing bank accounts. The war was waged not with guns alone, but through patience and precision. We dug deep into Harper's past, unearthing the silent toll the cartel had taken on her long before the invasion. Flashbacks revealed her trapped in a nightmare. Attempted assassinations, whispers in the dark, threats against Ivy if she didn't comply. This was a woman broken but not defeated, trapped between her maternal instincts and the cruel grip of Kane's world. Watching her fight that battle in therapy made me realize quiet revenge was more than dismantling a drug empire. It was a fight for redemption, for healing scars invisible to the world. Then, late one freezing evening, Quentin called with urgent news. One of Kane's major financiers was arrested planning a money transfer exceeding millions, proof the cartel was unraveling. But the operation also exposed a new, alarming detail. A mole feeding Kane real-time intel on me, our schedules, Ivy's school routes. Paranoia tightened. Had betrayal sunk deeper than Harper and Mason? Was Colin's fleeting loyalty the crack Kane exploited? The paranoia became a weapon. We pushed every surveillance link, installed random detours for Ivy's school bus, mixed routines to confuse shadow watchers. Nights blurred into planning sessions illuminated by laptop glow and whispered strategy. Each slip Kane made was a domino I knocked down quietly, watching the empire fall with a soldier's patience. But my fractured family pulled at me. Ivy needing normalcy, Harper rebuilding trust thread by thread, Colin repentant but still under suspicion. Emotional stakes rose. Wounds reopened with every tense phone call, every missed promise to Ivy. One evening, Ivy broke down with nightmares, not of intruders or masked men, but of losing us both, parents torn by darkness. Holding her, voice firm but gentle, I promised protection, a future free from fear. This personal war coincided with the legal front. Quentin sharpened battle lines for the coming final hearings. Evidence on Kane's empire, Harper's cooperation, Mason's betrayal, and unprecedented surveillance logs exposing corruption in the police force itself. The courtroom was prepped to become a battlefield of facts, nerves, and human drama. One sharp twist came unexpectedly from Fiona, an intercepted call revealing Kane's plan to retaliate personally, aiming to hit Ivy's new school. Security tightened overnight, meetings ramped up. Every moment felt suspended on a knife edge. Ivy's safety wasn't just a goal, it was the fortress I would die to defend. Despite the looming danger, moments of fragile hope bloomed. Ivy's laughter occasionally chased the ranch's quiet, Harper attempting cautious smiles during supervised visits, and my battered heart finding calm in these small victories, proof that beyond revenge, healing beckoned. Yet, with every step closer to Kane's collapse, the shadows grew darker. A chilling call in the early hours, no words, just breathing, reminded me the final move was near and the cost might be everything. The ranch felt like a fortress and a cage, the battlefield and home intertwined. I readied mentally and physically for the endgame. A clean break from the past or destruction of everything fought for. This was more than a fight for justice. It was fight for legacy, for dignity, for love forged in betrayal's fire. Snow whipped across the ranch driveway like knives as I gripped the steering wheel, headlights cutting through the blizzard toward the old mill on the edge of town, the spot Fiona's latest tip pinpointed for Kane's final play. Ivy was locked safe inside with Clara and two ex-Delta watchers, her brave face from earlier haunting me. "Daddy, bring Mommy home whole." Harper rode shotgun, pale but resolute, her testimony packet clutched tight, the kill shot for Kane's empire. But my gut twisted. Colin's betrayal still burned fresh, his confession yesterday admitting payments from Kane to feed ranch schedules. Trusted blood turned snake. The mill loomed dark, a skeleton against the storm, where everything would end or explode. We parked behind rusted silos, wind howling like warnings ignored. Fiona's team waited in unmarked vans, shadows in the whiteout. Kane's inside with his core crew. She briefed low over radio. "Your wife's flipped testimony seals RICO charges. But he's desperate, double-cross incoming." Harper nodded steel, no tears now. Months of reckoning forged her, from fragile cheater to key witness, peeling cartel layers and depositions that cracked Kane's fronts wide. "For Ivy," she whispered, squeezing my hand brief. "First touch since Christmas hell." Flashbacks surged as we advanced, boots crunching ice. That Christmas Eve invasion replayed vivid. Door splintering, Ivy under tree lights, my knife dance silencing thugs. Harper's upstairs screams. Not fear alone, but coded alerts she'd drilled with me pre-threats. Her affair with Mason? Kane's hook, reeling her into debt traps, forcing intel scraps. Colin's twist gutted deeper. Brother, ex-cop, seduced by one-time payoffs for family help. Kept Ivy safe. He'd lied in tears yesterday. No, sold us for cash, tipping school routes, visit times. Rage simmered cold. Family reckoning hit peak, wounds raw but fueling focus. Inside the mill, air reeked of rust and oil, machinery ghosts looming. Flashlights swept empty floors till voices echoed from catwalks above. Kane, silver fox in tactical vest, flanked by 4 hard cases. Paced a crate circle. Mason trussed nearby, beaten pulp. Thompson. Kane barked, spotting us. No guns drawn yet. Brain game first. Fiona's crew fanned silent behind crates. Harper stepped forward, voice steady. "It's over, Victor. Testimonies filed. Your routes, banks, moles, all out." Kane laughed gravel, eyes ice. "Brave, sweetheart. But you forget loyalty." He nodded, Lieutenant. Spotlight hit. Ophelia, our ally informant, gun to her own kid's head, boy no older than Ivy. Twist 2 slammed, double cross. "Fed you scraps," Kane sneered. "Real prize? Your Delta contacts." Ophelia teared. "Threats, my boy." Heart cracked. Another mom caged like Harper. Emotional showdown brewed. Not fists, but truths bared in blizzard chill. I held steady, Delta calm masking storm. "Let the kid go. Fight ends here." Kane circled slow, monologue spilling venom. "Your wife's bed warmed my plans first." Mason? Pawn. Colin? Weak link. Flashback. Colin's barbecue grins last summer, now poison. Harper lunged verbal. "You broke me, Victor." Loneliness. "Your bait." But Ivy woke me. Kane scoffed. "She sold you out clean." Invasion test. You passed, barely. Tension coiled. Fiona signaled raid go, shadows moved. But Kane faster. Shot grazed my shoulder, fire bloom. Chaos erupted. Shots cracking, crates splintering, men diving. I tackled Harper behind press, radioing, "Ivy secure?" Clara's affirm cut static. Daughter's bravery flashed. Earlier, she'd slipped me her reindeer plush. Luck charm, daddy. Kid steal like her old man. Gunfire staccato, white space panic. Short breaths, clipped moves. Kane's crew dropped systematic, Fiona's team pros. Mason freed, crawled whimpering. Ophelia grabbed her boy, bolted our way. But Kane cornered catwalk, pistol on me. Delta boy ends tonight. Brain over brawn. Your empire crumbles. Arrests rolling. Legacy? Rot. He faltered, eyes flicking shadows. Harper rose bold from cover. Victor, remember my letters? Begged mercy for Blake. Kane sneered. Weakness. But crack showed. His own family pick and wallet, glimpsed earlier raid. Human flaw. Let go, she pressed. Jail over grave. Heart play worked. Hesitation bloomed. I lunged low, disarmed clean, knife twist, not kill. He crumpled, cuffed by Fiona. Mill fell quiet save wind moan. Dust settled, blood spots on concrete. Shoulder throbbed, but standing. Harper hugged Ophelia fierce, moms bonded in fire. Mason hauled away, singing final notes. Colin's fate. Arrested Dawn, betrayal full price. Emotional charge peaked, me facing Harper amid wreckage. You fought true end. She teared. For her. Us. Nod slow. Door cracked, not wide. Radio crackled. Ranch breach attempt foiled. Ivy safe. Her voice patched. Daddy win. Yeah, kiddo. Coming home. Bravery shone. Her code word, reindeer, alerted watchers early. Pride swelled. Outside, blizzard eased. Dawn pinked horizon. Kane loaded van, empire dust. But final move loomed. Court hammerfall. Family rebuild. Wounds reopened raw. Collins calls from cell. Harper's hand lingering mine. Justice emotional, not explosive. Legacy intact. Yet cruiser lights flashed distant. Unknown van-tailed. One loose thread? Kane's whisper cuffed. Not finished. Final play brewing. Sun crested the ranch hills slow, chasing blizzard shadows from the mill where Kane's empire died in cuffs and flashing lights. I leaned against the cruiser hood, shoulders stitched tight but heart heavier, watching feds load Victor, defeated eyes flicking my way one last time. Harper stood close, breath fogging air, her hand brushing mine accidental but electric. It's done, Blake. Fiona clapped shoulders. Rico sticks. Full sweep. Ivy's voice crackled radio from ranch. Daddy? Mommy? Home safe. Her spotter bravery, flagging that breach van with our code, reindeer, turned tide. Colin's truck rumbled up, face carved regret. Fiona nodded him free. Plea holds. Testified clean on moles. Blood ties bent, not broke. Justice whispered through system gears. No fireworks. Steady hammer falls sealing fates. Ranch pulled us back like magnet. Ivy barreled door, arms flinging round legs. Heroes home. Clara brewed cocoa strong. Ex-Delta sentry nodding out. That night, firelit living room held first family huddle sans masks. Ivy center lap. Reindeer plush clutched. Tell story. Harper started soft. Christmas shatter. Her trapped screams warning coded. I added knife silences. Ivy's tree hide steel. No blame rounds. Just truth owned. Monsters lost cause we stuck, Ivy declared. Laughter cracked ice. Healing sparked small. Days stacked purposeful. Ivy's school routine locked. Bus meets hand in hand. Harper earning rides beside. Therapy circles deepened. Group first awkward nods, then raw shares. Loneliness hooked me. Harper owned one session, eyes mind steady. Kane dangled escape, guilt chained. Flashback shared. Her pawn necklace cash stalled thugs extra minutes that eve. My turn. Absences carved distance. Delta ghost haunting home. Therapist probed. Forgiveness weapon or weight. Chose weapon. Release fueling strength. Legal threads tied neat. Quentin filed final divorce papers amicable. Shared custody ironclad with safeguards. Kane's sentencing marathon. Life no parole. Gavel echo courtroom thunder. Ophelia texted safe from witness hide. Her boy starting school fresh. Mason faded protection ghosts. Collins probation carved path. Weekly check-ins. Ranch repairs penance. Porch talks brewed slow thaw. Greed whispered easy cash. He admitted sunset one eve. Family yell woke me. Hugged crooked, brother's men jagged. Emotional justice unfolded layers. Harper launched Survivor circled downtown. Cartel widows, coerced moms sharing scars. Turn pain purpose, she'd say meetings. I consulted low-key. Neighborhood defense workshops, no boasts, Delta quiet passing torch. Ivy shone brightest, soccer fields her stage, goals sinking mom cheers, dad drills. Team us, she'd yell huddle post-win. Picnic marked pivot, no vague leaps, riverbank exact where young love bloomed pre-Ivy. Balloons danced breeze, cake layers chocolate thick. Colin Man grill, smoke curling tails. Cousins splash shallows, laughter chasing old haunts. Ivy crowned cake candles, whole family wish. Harper leaned picnic blanket, voice thread. Blake, rebuild us. Eyes held old fire cautious. Nod met half smile. Steps, not leaps. Ivy leads. Lips brushed soft. First since shatter. Promise tasting redemption sweet. Ranch evolved fortress to haven. Fences stayed vigilant. Gates flung weekends. Barbecues buzzing neighbors. Stories swapped sand secrets. Ivy's drawings galleried walls. Families linked arms under suns eternal. Nightly rituals rooted deep. Bedtime reads weaving adventure sans fear. Harper joining alternate eves. Voices harmony. Court echoes lingered satisfying. Judge grants rap. Justice dignifies all. Cain's web autopsy. Fronts auctioned. Routes ghosts. Corruption purged. News hailed family stands cartel fall. No heroes parade. Quiet when suited scars. One dusk walk. Ivy tugged hands joined. Daddy, mommy fight together always? Harper knelt eye level. Learned hard. Love tougher than monsters. My ad. Legacy you build, kiddo. Pride swelled bone deep. Betrayal badge faded tail owned. Ivy's version age fit. Parents battled shadows smart. One heart strong. Beamed back. Heroes real. Beloved friends, if this journey through shattered vows and unbreakable family fire touched something deep inside, please tap that like button with a warm heart. It truly fuels these tales. Subscribe gently today, so our paths cross again soon in the next heart-pounding thriller, an epic revenge saga that'll grip you tighter than this one. In the comments, share kindly. From which corner of the world are you tuning in? And what's that one raw emotional question this story stirs in your soul right now? Most importantly, tell us true. What types of stories light your fire most? Cheating heartaches with quiet justice, high-stakes military betrayals, or family conflicts that heal through fire? Your thoughts guide the magic. We craft the next unforgettable epic just for you.